All right, just a quick injury update. Anthony Castonzo and Darius Leonard will both be out for the game. They're being ruled out. Um, really good week of practice. Excited about the week of preparation we've had. Guys have been dialed in, knowing we're going on the road against a very good football team in the Cleveland Browns. They're very good in all three phases. This is going to be a big challenge for us. But we're looking forward to that. We know we have a good team. They have a good team. So it's just going to come down to execution, play by play for 60 minutes. And this will be a good test for us.
All right, Andrew Walker.
Hey, Coach, obviously considering Anthony's status for Sunday, what's your level of confidence in LaRaven Clark to come in if he needs to? He hasn't seen the field too much the past couple of years, which is clearly more indicative of how fortunate you've been with the injury situation up front probably. But what are your thoughts on LaRaven if he's pressed into duty?
Yeah, I'm excited to see LaRaven play. He came in here this year. I thought he had his best training camp. He's looked as good as he's looked in the 3 years I've been here. I really think he's going to come in and play well. He's a very athletic guy, smart guy, tough guy. What I appreciate about LaRaven, even during this stretch where all of our guys have stayed healthy, he stays locked in. He's always getting himself mentally and physically ready. So I have a lot of confidence in LaRaven.
Mike Chappell.
Coach, I realize you take the next man up thing, but when you lose a Castonzo, you guys have been so high on what he allows you to do. Does it impact at some level what you do or how you go about carrying on business?
In one maybe a little bit, but not too much. AC is a unique player. We think he's a great player. So, a lot of times in protection, sometimes you don't have to help him as much. The thing is with Myles Garrett and what they do defensively, they move him around. And so I'm sure he'll switch sides. That's nothing new for him. He'll want to test out LaRaven and that kind of stuff. But, we have our plans on how we'll handle those things. We go into every week with a protection plan, no matter who we're playing and no matter who's playing for us. It's a comprehensive plan. We build into that plan adjustments that we can make in game. That gets a lot of work, that protection game plan. So in one respect, it's the same procedure that we always do. In another respect, okay, we know we've got a new starting left tackle. So, they'll try to test that out and we'll do the best we can do. And we're confident in our plan and we're confident in LaRaven.
Thanks, Coach.
Kevin Bowen.
Hey, Frank, I've got two. Would you say this is your toughest offensive challenge yet you guys have faced, and in what ways?
Well, I think this is our toughest in all three phases. As a team, I think this team that we're playing is good in all three phases. For us as an offense, we just need to be on it. This is another good team that's very good against the run. They allow less than 100 yards rushing a game. And they have an explosive offense. So like we said earlier in the week, I'm anticipating our defense is going to play great. And maybe we'll hold them down to 11 points or less again, and that would be fantastic. But, I just think as an offense, we need to go out there and get some rhythm, in what we're doing, get some confidence in what we're doing. And, we'll look to do that this week against very good defense.
And then you mentioned Garrett moving around. What's the balance when you guys are struggling situationally, knowing if you leave a skill guy in to help, then that takes away, an extra player, on that route tree?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Kevin. That is the balance. I mean, that is the balance each and every week. You got to say, you pull on one part of the spider web, it affects everything else in the web. So you want to keep a guy in to help in protection. It comes at the cost of not getting a fifth man out in the pattern. And so that's the decision coaching staffs are making every week, especially when you play a team that has somebody like Myles Garrett, or they have a rusher like him. That's the advantage. When a guy requires that much attention, it's pulling from something else. And that's always a fine line. And so the way we approach it is we try to stay balanced. We're going to do a little bit of everything. We'll give a little bit of extra help. We'll throw some rhythm passing game. You want to run the ball enough to kind of keep them neutral. That's the best you can do. And we feel confident that as an offense and as a team that we can do that and neutralize them to the degree that we need to win the game.
Zach Kiefer.
Frank, we didn't see Anthony practice at all this week. How severe is this injury? Is it something that could keep him out for a while?
I don't want to go into the severity of it. I mean, it was really being safe. I mean, we were, every day just kind of checking in with him, on how he felt. And you guys know how a rib thing is. You just want to let it get settled down. And so the littlest thing could aggravate it. So, but then once it's healed, it's healed. That's what you're hoping. So when we saw, as the week went on and as we saw, okay, you hold out a little bit of hope, maybe you practice later in the week and play. But once you determine that that's not going to happen like today, it was like, okay, let's not practice. Let's, get through the weekend and then reevaluate next week and let this thing heal up the best we can, whether it takes 1 week or 2 weeks or whatever it takes to get him back for the long haul.
All right, we'll do 3 more. Joel Erickson.
I think there's been a lot of talk about trash talk this week, and I was just curious, were you ever a trash talker, either as a player or a coach? Did you ever talk some?
I'm not much of a trash talker. I certainly have done. Nobody would ever expect that I've done my share here and there a little bit. As I've gotten a little bit older, I'm less and less part of my vocabulary. Let's just put it that way. And really, I just think that's for the guys. That's for the guys out there playing, doing their thing, expressing themselves the way they do. Part of it is fun. Honestly, part of it's fun. We all embrace that, and it can be a fun part of the game.
When you did, was your style a little bit like Phillips?
I'm not sure anybody has a style quite like Philip. His is pretty unique, but the times, the handful of times I can remember, mine was not so much out of fun, but out of sheer anger. Out of sheer anger. I think Philip does it for fun, and so that's maybe where it's different.
Jim Aiello.
I might as well follow up on that. I was just going. Do you do any of it from the sideline as a coach?
No. No.
Philip doesn't get that. It looks like Philip takes care of most of that from the sideline.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure.
All right, Stephen Holder, last one.
Zach actually took my question on the severity of AC's injury, so you shut that down pretty well. So I'm going to move on. Hey, what about Anthony? Anthony Walker. We saw him a little bit today. How did he look? And I mean, obviously, a run-heavy team, he would be nice to have. So.
Yeah, I mean, he was limited, and part of it's just the evaluation process, and so we'll see how he responds to the limited amount of work that he got out there today, and evaluate him tomorrow, and then make that decision. I can't say, I really can't say one way or the other until we just see how he responds to the little bit of work he got today to see if he can go or not. Obviously, if he can go, we'd love him to be out there. He's a big part of our defensive success that we've been having. Great leadership, great player. The times that Darius hasn't played, a walk has come up huge. I mean, huge. He's had huge games in Darius's absence. So, we're hopeful that this thing heals and responds well to today's limited work, and we'll make that decision tomorrow.